Welcome back, my dear students. Now open channel flow, sixth video. Okay, the concept is most economical sections. In previous video and previous videos, we discussed about most economic that open channel flow, pipe flow, difference between them, and channel geometry, that your rectangle, trapezoidal, triangular, circular, and after that we discussed velocity discharge by Church's equation, Manning's equation, Bayesian's and Kutter's equation, and we solved many problems. Now we are into most economical section. This is ultimate and very important concept for steady uniform flow. Steady uniform flow means what? Depth with respect to time is not changing, depth with respect to space is not changing, right? Then most economical section here in this one, what is the exact concept we are looking through? Now that we are going to understand in this slide. See, it is said that most economical. Economy means what? Economy means it is involved, finance is involved here. Finance is involved here. We are discussing open channel flow means where the finance is involved in this chapter, because we are proposing canals. We want a water that flowing through the canals, and we want to establish this canal. We want to build this one. Okay, we need to excavate soil, and you need to make a level surface, you need to make a slope surface, then after that you need to put a concrete here and concrete here, bed concrete, like that you need to make so many arrangements. You need to build this one. For that your finance is required. Okay, here it says that most economical means it should be economical, it should be with a minimum price. What? The amount involved, the cost involved to construct the canal must be minimum. Okay, minimum means what? Look at here, if this a trapezoidal canal is there, or rectangle canal is there, or triangular canal is there, circular is there, when the cost will be minimum? When your size is minimum. For example, I have one canal like this, I have one canal like this, I have one canal like this. This is A, B, C, D. Then out of these, if I construct this canal, obviously my cost involved will be more. Then if I construct this one, the cost involved will be less. If I think that I need to save money, so I will avoid this one and I will construct this one, means it is foolishness. Because we need to see the need. How much water is required for irrigation purpose or some other purpose, we don't know. Okay, for that purpose, how much water is required, and that much of water this canal must convey. Along with that, the cost involved to construct must be minimum. Understood? Two concepts are there. Now I introduce one more concept, that is, the first one is that you should get the required discharge. How much you want to convey that water, that should come through the channel. And the second one is the cost involved must be minimum. Okay, these two we need to achieve. For that reason we are studying most economical section. Okay, then how to get a correct discharge, that so many parameters will be there. Let us consider, I will consider this as a Q is a one that what a demand or a discharge. Okay, this much of water is required, means what? This much of meter cube per second water is required through that canal. Let us consider this is a fixed one. Q is what? Fixed one. Now how to minimize the cost? Cost can be minimized by two parameters. One parameter is minimizing the perimeter, minimizing perimeter, or minimizing loss. Both are somewhat same only. Loss, where these losses will take place? Because the water will be rubbing through the shoulders of the canal. The sides of the canal, the water is rubbing and moving. Therefore, your losses are induced there. And if you make your perimeter minimum, then the losses will be minimum. Okay, but we need to make such a way that the perimeter should be minimum, or losses should be minimum in a such a way that in this minimum perimeter I should get a maximum discharge. This is called as a most economical section. This is called most economical section. Then in a one or two lines, if I want to tell that the most economical section is that section where perimeter of construction, wetted perimeter of the canal is minimum, and discharge through that canal must be maximum, and also the losses involved in the flow of that water is also minimum. Okay, these three concepts we need to see, that is called as a most economical section. Understood? This is your concept. Means I will make it once again. Look at here. If Q is equal to AC root RS is the equation, if this is my equation, then in this equation, what is the Q? I need to make this Q maximum, and perimeter, where is the perimeter here? That R. This R is there, no? R means what? A by P. Means I can say this is A by P. Then perimeter must be minimum, so that the Q is maximum. Interestingly, even the equation is also agreeing with that when we get the minimum perimeter, then we will get the maximum discharge. Okay, this concept you keep in mind. Then we will go ahead with the one by one sections. The first one is the most economical rectangular section. You already know that this is your B and this is your H. The water is here. This is your H. Okay. Now, what is your that Q is equal to? Q is equal to C into A into C into square root of A by P into slope. Right? Then here what I am going to make, in this one what we will consider is, we will keep area constant. Means area constant. Look at here. What is the 4 into 1? Is a 4. 2 into 2 is a 4. Is a 1 into 4 is a 4. 8 into 0.5 is a 4. See, this is your area. Length into breadth I am changing. 4 into 1, maybe 4 meter width and 1 meter height. 2 meter width and 2 meter height. Now 1 meter width and 4 meter height. Then 8 meter width and 0.5 meter height. See, all these areas are same. This area is 4, this area is 4, this area is 4. But I need to think that out of these four examples, which area has a minimum perimeter? Tell me. Did you get it? Which cross section will have a minimum perimeter? Look at here. In the first one, if I see, the base is 4, side is 1 and 1. 4 plus 1 plus 1 is 6 perimeter is there. Here this is 2, bottom 2. Means here 6 perimeter is there. Here bottom 1 and this 4, 8 plus 1, 9 perimeter is there. And here the bottom is 8 and 0.5. Again 9 is there. Means here we are getting some different perimeter, but area we kept constant. Might be there is another way of executing the rectangle where the area is 4 but perimeter may be less than 6. That's also might be possible. Therefore, here what we'll do, we will keep area constant. Obviously C is already constant, S is already constant. Then if I make these are all constant, then the perimeter, if I make it minimum, then I will get a maximum discharge. This is the condition. Means the condition is what? You make a perimeter minimum. Get the condition for minimum perimeter. How to get the condition for minimum perimeter? Our mathematics will help us. That is, differentiate perimeter with respect to what? With respect to which one you want to vary here. You want to vary H or you want to vary B? Then obviously I will vary H, because water is the fluctuating thing. Breadth I cannot vary. Therefore, dP by dH is equal to 0 if I make, then whatever the condition I will get here, that condition is called as a minimum perimeter condition. Minimum perimeter condition. And this condition if I use in that section, if a water is flowing, that is your maximum discharge condition. Right? Now we will go with this one. Parameters. What are the parameters here? This is your B, this is your H, the water level is here, and you already know that area is equal to B into H. Okay, then perimeter is equal to B plus 2H. This is your B plus 2H. But perimeter is depending on what? Perimeter is depending on H, and perimeter is depending on B. But B is a constant here, we are making it constant, but that's why. But this B I can write from this equation, that is B is equal to A by H, also means perimeter is which is depending on B, but B is depending on H, that I can consider like that. Therefore P is equal to A by H plus 2H. Okay, this is the perimeter. Then what is the condition for most economical condition? Perimeter must be minimum, therefore dP by dH is equal to 0, means that A divided by minus A by H square. 1 by H differentiation is minus 1 by H square. A is a constant, plus 2 is equal to 0. Then I will get 2 is equal to A by H square. Then H square is equal to here only I will write. Okay, you write below this one. I am writing it side by side because slide is very small. Then now 2H square is equal to area, means 2H square is equal to B into H. H cancel, therefore B is equal to 2H is a condition. Very interesting. B equal to 2H is a condition to have a minimum perimeter, and area is constant, minimum perimeter and maximum discharge. Now what it says, that if you are making a 4 meter width, then your water must flow 2 meter. Means what? Look at here, B is equal to 2 into H, means if it is 2 meter and it is 4 meter, then you will get a maximum discharge. No, I have a 3 meter sir width, then what I have to do? Then your water should flow at 1.5 meter here, then you will get a maximum discharge. Sir, I have a 10 meter width, then your water should move 5 meter height, then you will have a maximum discharge. This is the most economical condition for rectangle section. Considering this, you can go ahead like this is what 2H and this is H. Now I am writing most economical rectangular section. Then your area becomes what? B into H, therefore 2H into H, therefore H2 H square is your area. Then perimeter is what? Perimeter is H plus 2H is a 4H is a perimeter. Then what is your hydraulic mean radius? A by P. Area is 2H square, perimeter is 4H, therefore 2 1s are 2 2s are cancel, therefore H by 2 is a hydraulic mean radius. Like that you can calculate whatever you want. Hydraulic mean depth is a by T, that is A is a area 2H square, top width is again 2H, therefore 2H, the answer is H. Now like that you can calculate whichever you want. This is most economical rectangular section. You can make a conclusion here. The most economical rectangular section means the width of the rectangular section is twice the height of the rectangular section. Okay, now we'll go to the trapezoidal. Now we will discuss about most economical trapezoidal section. One in N, this is your B, and this is your NH, this is your NH, and this is your B, and height is H. If these values are known to you, then you can write area is equal to B plus NH into H. Now, in the previous video we derived this one. Then perimeter is equal to B plus 2H square root of 1 plus N square. Right? Now, for most economical condition, what we need to do? Differentiate perimeter with respect to H and equal to 0. Here very important is, see this section, this trapezoidal is there. Now this trapezoidal, if a slope is changing like this, then depth also changes. In this case, what I am going to consider is varying depth, then slope keeping constant. Slope keeping constant means this slope I am going to keep it constant, then this depth I am going to vary. Because two variables are there in this problem, N and H. I will keep slope constant and vary a depth. Then I will see the condition how I will get, what I will get. Then before that one, I will write this b value in terms of h. That by considering this h is equal a equal to b plus nh square, that I will make it here. That is b is equal to a by h minus nh. Am I right? Okay. From this we got this equation. That I will write here. P is equal to a by h minus nh plus 2h square root of 1 plus n square. Right? Now differentiate p with respect to h equate to 0. Then this is your minus a by h square minus n plus 2 square root of 1 plus n square as it is. That equal to 0. Then what we will get? 2 square root of 1 plus n square is equal to a by h square plus n we will get. Right? Then here a means what? B plus nh into h divided by, that is h square, plus n. Then 1h cancel. Then what is left here? That b plus nh divided by n divided by h plus n. Okay, I will write it once again. If I take LCM, then and add b plus this nh and nh 2nh 2nh divided by h. This h I will send this side, then I can get 2h into square root of 1 plus n square is equal to b plus 2nh. Wow. We will rewrite this one like h into square root of 1 plus n square is equal to b plus 2nh. Seeing this equation, there should be a happy feeling. There should, you should feel very happy. Why? Look at it. This is your h root of 1 plus n square. Right? Then what is the total width? Total top width is b plus 2nh. What is the total top width? B plus 2nh. B plus 2nh by 2 is what? By 2 is this much. And this is your h root of 1 plus n square. Means what is it is said that these two are equal. These two are equal. Then I can consider a statement here, that is one side slope must be equal to half of the top width. Correct? This is your most economical condition. Very interesting, right? If you maintain like this, then the discharge will be more and the cost will be reduced, losses will be reduced. Okay na? Further if I go with this equation, once again I will get some magic. Okay. Now I will make one triangle here. Just I am playing with the geometry. I will get something, again one happy news. Then I will play this with this theta and define sine theta. Is the opposite h by hypotenuse h root of 1 plus n square. Okay, no? Then h cancel. Sine theta is equal to what? 1 divided by square root of 1 plus n square. Okay, no? This I will keep it one side. Then I will play again a different way. That I will draw one line from here to this slope such a way that this is perpendicular. I can draw, no? I will choose and I will draw one line in this way. Then this theta means this is also theta. Then if this is a theta, then opposite is this one. This is your opposite. Here This is also theta. Then define sine theta. What you will get? If you define sine theta, then let us consider this is a O and this you call it as a OA. Then this is the opposite and this is adjacent. Then again I will define sine theta with a different triangle. Then opposite OA divided by half of the top width. Half of the top width means what? B plus 2NH by 2. This is the half of the top width. Then OA divided by half of the top width means what? Just a previous slide you can see, or otherwise here it is there. That is H into square root of 1 plus n square. 1 plus n square. This is your sine theta. Right? From this, if I equate this sine theta and this sine theta, what I will get? Then OA is equal to H u got. What a nice it is. See, this OA is a H. Beautiful. Now, you know that this is your H. You know that this is your H. But from derivation, you got this as your H. Then obviously, you will get this also as a H. Then this is H means there is a circle if I drawn here with the radius H. If a radius H, if I draw a circle, then this circle is touching all the three sides. All the three sides. Understood? Means most economical triangle, most economical trapezoidal section means the first condition is the top half of the top width will be equal to one side slope. Or in the other way, you can tell that, you can also tell that this radius, if you draw one semicircle considering center of the top width as a center, then you will, that circle will touches all the four sides. This is what a beautiful most economical trapezoidal section. Okay, till now we discussed varying depth, keeping slope as a constant. But now what I do, I will do varying slope. I am going to do now. Varying slope means what? Same thing. A is equal to B plus NH into H. Then here only I will make it. Okay, let it be. Then I know perimeter is equal to, I will write here. Perimeter is equal to B plus 2H square root of 1 plus n square. Okay, then what is this B? B I can write it again, that B is equal to A divided by H minus NH. That I will write, this is H, don't confuse with H and N. Then this is your A divided by H minus NH plus 2 H square root of 1 plus n square. Okay, this is your P. Now I need to do dP by dN. With respect to n I have to derive, therefore this is 0 and this is minus h. And this is what? Plus 2, I will keep it constant outside. Then 2h keep it constant outside. Then the differentiation of root 1 plus n square is 1 divided by 2 root 1 plus n square, and n square differentiation is 2n. Then 2 cancel, equal to 0. Then what you will get? What you will get? Then h is equal to 2h divided by square root of 1 plus n square. Right? Now h cancel. Then what you will get? H cancel. What you will get? That square root of 1 plus n square is equal to 2 you got. Then square on both sides. 1 plus n square is equal to 4 you got. Then n square is equal to 4 minus 1, 3 you got. Then n is equal to, if this is a trapezoidal and 1 and n, this you got 60 degree. Okay, and this you already know, this is your h. Then this here I will define sine theta once again. And what is your sine theta? Sine theta is h divided opposite divided by h into square root of 1 plus n square. Okay, then what is this theta? Sine 60, therefore it is sine 60 is equal to h cancel, 1 divided by 1 plus n square their root. And what is 1 by 60? Sine 60, right? Sine 60 is root 3 by 2, that is root 3 by 2 is equal to 1 divided by square root of 1 plus n square. Now here how I play, I will compare this method to the previous method. The previous method, it said that b plus h into square root of 1 plus n square, that is one side slope, is equal to b plus 2nh divided by 2, top width by 2. Then in this place, n means what? That is your 60. This is 60 degree. If it is 60 degree, then what is your n value? 1 in n. Then define here what? Your n. Okay. This I will substitute in the equation. Then h as it is square root of 1 plus 1 by 3. Okay, now that is equal to b plus 2 by root 3 h divided by. Then I will simplify this one further. Then this become 2h root of 3 plus 4, 4 by 3 is equal to b plus 2 by root 3 into h. Okay, then square on both sides. Square on both sides, 4 h square 4 by 3 equal to, then here it is 2 into h into 2 by root 3. 2 by root 3 is equal to LCM root 3b plus 2h divided by root 3. Root 3 cancel. 4h is equal to root 3b plus 2b. 4h minus 2h is 2h is equal to root 3b. Then b is equal to 2h by root 3. Okay, now having this derive perimeter equation. Having this derive perimeter equation. What is the perimeter here? Perimeter equal to b plus 2h square root of 1 plus n square. What is b now? You just derived here. That is 2h by root 3. That is 2h by root 3 plus 2h square root of 1 plus 1 by root 3 whole square. Okay, na? Then 2h by root 3 plus 2h. This become 4 by 3. 4 by 3 means 2 by root 3. 2 by root 3. Then root 3 common denominator. Then this is a 2h plus 4h. That is your 6h by root 3. Okay. This magically I will write it like 3 into 2h by root 3. See how I am doing magic. Then what is this? This is your b. Then 3b. Now again you should shout, Eureka, Eureka, 3b equal, b equal to 3b. Why we need to shout? Because look at it. They said that if this is a b, then this must be b, then this must be b. Then I can say that the perimeter is 3b. Okay, now this is what the conclusion you got when a slope is varied. Okay, I am going to conclude here that till now whatever I did, I am going to conclude. We got two different cases. The one is varying with respect to depth. Varying with respect to depth means one side slope, that is the side slope, is equal to half of the top width. From this you got another conclusion that if you draw a circle taking center as the half of the top, center as the center of the top width, then that circle will just touches all the three sides of the trapezoidal. One condition. And the second we got here, if I vary slope, then I will get a most economical section at 60 degree. In this case, this width, this width, this width will be same. These two, either you maintain this or you maintain this, then you will get a most economical trapezoidal section. Then we will go most economic, then we will go most economical triangular section. Then again here two cases will come, varying depth and varying that what your height. Now here a equal to n h square, then perimeter is equal to 2 into h into square root of 1 plus n square, right? Now I need to differentiate with respect to h and equate to 0. Now this h is there. What is n? N is also depending on h. N is again depending on h. How? N is equal to a divided by h square. Correct? Therefore, in the place of n, I have to write a divided by h square. Then differentiate this one. It becomes very complicated. Therefore, I will choose a different way. That instead of differentiating with respect to h, I will differentiate with respect to n. We'll see what happens. With respect to n, I want to differentiate. Then with respect to n, if I want to differentiate, then h I have to express in terms of n. Then this is not. Then I will write h equal to what? H square is equal to a by n. Then h is equal to root a divided by root n. Okay, na? Then I will write here. Still I have to modify. Then p is equal to 2 into h into, h is equal to 2 into square root of a divided by square root of n into square root of 1 plus n square. This I want to differentiate p with respect to n is equal to 0. Then here what I do, 2 root a constant, keep it outside. Then denominator whole square, root n whole square, root n as it is. Then differentiate root 1 by 1 plus n square, that is 1 by 2 root 1 plus n square into 2n minus root 1 plus n square as it is, then 1 by 2 root n into 1. This I want. Equate to 0. Then this becomes 0, that becomes 0, and this becomes that. Therefore, root n into 2n divided by 2 root 1 plus n square is equal to root 1 plus n square 1 by 2 root n. Okay, now I will cancel this 2 and this 2. Okay, then I will simplify this. Root n will come this side, root n become n, and already one n is there, already 2 is there. Okay, and that side is root 1 plus n square and this root 1 plus n square, therefore it becomes 1 plus n square. This is 2n square is equal to 1 plus n square. Then 2n square minus n square is n square is equal to 1. N is equal to plus or minus 1, that is n equal to 1. N equal to 1 means what? If n is equal to 1, n is equal to 1 means theta is equal to 45 degree. Theta equal to 45 degree means you need to maintain this 45 degree, then you will get a most economical rectangular section. Okay, now if you want, you can derive for varying the depth. This is your H, R and theta. Okay. Then here you can write H is equal to R into 1 minus cos theta, and top width is equal to 2R sin theta, 2R sin theta. Then area is equal to, I'll write it later, however I require that one and I know that one. Once I will come to the most economical criteria, then Q is equal to AC root of RS. Okay. Here a magic is there. C into this A I will send inside, then that become A square, and R means A by P, and S. This is C into square root of A cube by P into root S. Why I made like this? Because here area will not change. I know that. Oh, sorry. The area is also changing. Here the area is also changing because as the theta is changing, the area is changing, and along with the area, perimeter is also changing. Therefore, perimeter is a function of area and area is a function of perimeter. Therefore, I cannot say only by making a discharge, by making perimeter minimum, I will get a maximum discharge. Not like that. Therefore, what I have to do to get a maximum discharge, then differentiate this entire thing and equate to 0, then you will get it. Then differentiate with respect to with respect to theta, what you need to differentiate? A cube by P you need to differentiate. What you will get? A cube by P if you differentiate and equate to 0. Then what you will get? Look at here. Denominator square, denominator as it is, 3a square dA minus a cube into dP is equal to 0. This you are going to get. Okay. Further, I will write this one. Then this p square becomes the 0. This will go on. Then this I will send that side and become plus. Now 3pa square dA must be equal to a cube dP. Now you know those whatever the known equations are there, that you got it right here. A is equal to what? R square into theta minus sine 2 theta by 2, and dA is equal to what? dA means with respect to theta only. dA by d theta is equal to what? R square constant into 1 minus cos 2 theta into 2 divided by 2. Okay, this is your. Then P is equal to what? 2r theta. Then dP by dA equal to dP by d theta is equal to 2r. Then we'll substitute here. 3 into what is P? 2r theta. A square means what? Now a square, don't worry. This a square and this a cube cancels. Therefore, dA means what? dA is r square into 1 minus cos 2 theta. Okay. Then is equal to A means what? R square theta minus cos sine 2 theta divided by 2. dP means what? 2r. Now, clearly just to look at here and what are the things which are going to cancel. Carefully you cancel them. Then here r square gone, and 2r and this 2 are gone. Then what is left here? 3 is left. Then theta is left. Then 1 minus cos 2 theta is left. That side what is left? Theta is left minus sine 2 theta by. Then here this equation we cannot solve this one directly. Trial and error method we need to apply. Then you will get a theta is equal to 154. 154 degree you are going to get. What is this 154? That is 154 means the water is this much. This is 154 means water is this much. We assumed here, and but the mathematics gave us that you have to flow this much of water. Then what is your h equal to r into 1 minus cos theta. Then substitute here, then you will get 1.898 r you are going to write in terms of d, that r equal to what, d by 2, therefore 0.95 d you got. Very interesting. Means if you are water is flowing in this channel with the depth that is 0.95 times of d, then you can expect maximum discharge through circular section. Okay, now what is this condition is? This is the condition for maximum discharge. This is for maximum discharge. And what is the maximum discharge? To get a maximum discharge, the pipe should not be flowing full. If it is flowing full, it will get chocked because air has to pass. This is a gravity flow. This is not a pressure flow. Therefore, you have to make a little space vacant. But this math tells us that you need to make 0.95 d full of flow. Then this much you need to make a vacant. Then you will get a maximum. Then you will get a maximum discharge. Condition for maximum velocity, look at here. V is equal to square root of c into square root of rs. V is equal to c into square root of a by p into root s. Now c and root s I will they are constant, remove them. Then velocity is depending on what? A and p. A by p. Therefore my condition will be differentiation of that with respect to theta. Of means what? That is a by p I have to consider. In the last a cube by p was there, but here a by p is enough. Means this differentiate and equate to 0. Then you will get a p square into p into dA minus a into dp is equal to 0. Means p square will go, then you will get a condition pdA minus adp is equal to 0. Means pdA is equal to adp, of course with respect to theta, right now. This you need to make. Now the geometry you know, then dA is equal to what? R square theta with respect to theta. R square 1 minus cos 2 theta by into 2 by 2 cancel. Then P is equal to what? 2r theta. Then dP by d theta is equal to what? 2r. Then AdP is equal to PdA. Correct? A is r square theta minus sin 2 theta by 2, and this is a 2r is equal to P is a 2r theta into dA is, what is dA? r square 1 minus cos 2 theta. Then wisely you cancel them. R square gone, 2r, 2r, r square gone. Then here theta minus sin 2 theta by 2 is equal to theta into 1 minus cos 2 theta. Then you can make it theta minus sin 2 theta by 2 is equal to theta minus theta cos 2 theta. Then theta theta cancel. Then you will get minus minus cancel. Sin 2 theta by 2 is equal to theta cos 2 theta. Means tan 2 theta is equal to 2 theta. Here you need to solve for theta. Then theta you will get 128.75 degree. This is your theta. Okay. What is the meaning of this one? The water is flowing this much, where The angle is 128, that is shown here, 128.75 shown here. Then H is equal to R into 1 minus cos theta. Then theta is equal to 128.75. If you substitute, then H is equal to something into R, it will come, and R you make it into D, then it will be 0.81 times D. Means your depth will be 0.81 times D, then you can have maximum flow, maximum velocity. You can have maximum velocity. Right? This is a most economical circular section. Here I am going to conclude all the most economical sections once again. Most economical rectangular section means what? If it is a H, then this will be 2H or B equal to 2H. Most economical rectangular section. Second most economical trapezoidal section, you have two conditions. You can have two conditions. That is, the top width, half of the top width must be equal to the slope. Meaning, this, if you draw one circle here, then it will be tangential to the three sides. Or you can have a trapezoidal with a 60 degree, meaning this side are equal. Trapezoidal. The third one is most economical triangular section, means you should maintain 45 degree, means the interior angle is 90 degree, then it will be 45 degree. Most economical triangle. The fourth one is most economical circular section. Here you will get two different conditions, one for maximum discharge, one for maximum velocity. Maximum discharge 0.95 times D, that is your maximum discharge condition. Then maximum velocity condition 0.81 D. Okay, these are most economical sections. Thank you.